Hello and welcome back to the ILTV News Podcast. I'm your host, Maayan Hoffman, Executive Editor of ILTV News, and we're so happy to have you back, our viewers and our listeners. Now I have with me today Chef Moshe Basson, the legendary Jerusalem chef behind the Eucalyptus Restaurant, whose Iraqi roots, biblical cuisine, and passion for food and culture make him the perfect guest as we explore the tastes and traditions of Rosh Hashanah. Welcome, Chef Basson.
Thank you so much for bringing me here.
Of course.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's so fun to have you. I've known you for years and enjoyed your restaurant for many, many years. Now, your family came from Iraq to Jerusalem when you were just a child. How much of that Iraqi heritage still finds its way into the cooking that you're doing today here in Israel?
I arrived when I was only 9 months.
Oh,
My kids will kid me sometimes when I'm saying, I have memories. Oh, you remember Iraq. But a lot, because memory. It's not what you really experience, it's what you feel and hear around you. So, and food is a wonderful bridge between all of this. So when your mom and your grandmom or even my great-grandma cooking Iraqi food, and when, especially the Iraqi, when they are cooking, they're also talking. So they will tell you the stories around it. And if you have a good memory, you'll carry it on. So there is a big part, I'm always saying the food at the restaurant and in the book is biblical Israeli cuisine, but with more than a hint of Iraqi.
Right, the stories become yours. But now you also grew up learning not just from your family, but also you had a lot of Bedouin neighbors, from what I understand, in the area where you were growing up, and Arab women who were nearby. Did those early experiences also teach you about food and culture? Is it a hybrid, a mosaic?
Sure. It's when I'm asked about my teachers, my culinary school, I didn't. My chefs and my teachers are mothers and grandmothers from the family and from the region. We used to have a bakery in Bet Safafa, just on the border. And on that time, the border between Israel and Jordan was something that children will cross without any problem. To pick kalaniyot, these red flowers in the other side, because there is plenty there. And they will come to cook, to bake, especially in the high holidays. They will come, and it was a kosher, my father was kosher, but one of the ovens, there was 7 ovens there. It was, now I know that it was Italian bakery. One of the ovens was not kosher for the ladies from the and trays and everything for them from Bet Safafa, and they will come and will make this lahme be'ajin and fatayr, and before you see it, you smell it from the oven, you hear the bubbling and and then it will come. And you are not allowed to touch it. It's not kosher.
Oh, my God.
So this desire, and I think that my father, alav shalom, was a very wise person. He knew that if I will not get it by permission, I will have it anyhow. So he asked Zainab, that I will call her Auntie Zainab, to come and to cook with our ingredients these foods, and some of them mom start to do. And so I'm carrying these memories from there, and also it's another bridge, because Iraqi family in the 50s, it was Tkufat Hatzena, this needy time that you don't have a portion of meat you'll get with tickets once in a week. And if you have a baby in the family, you will get an egg per day for the baby, and the other will get a powder of eggs.
Right.
So they will not really cook Iraqi food, but Iraqi food was not the food that will use za'atar or olive oil. Iraq, it's sesame oil. We used to have a big factory of sesame oil, tahina, and things that are related to that, even soap that were official suppliers of the Iraqi army. So khubeza, za'atar was not something, even not, I cannot say common, but even not rarely. And when my mom and the family was exposed to this thing, and then za'atar is ezov, hyssop. And khubeza is halamit in the Bible already.
Wow,
and other stories, I'm telling that also in... I had the chance to tell the story about mallow to the staff that was combining Pope Jean Paul when he visited in 2000, and I sent him mishloach manot. It was on Purim. I made some patties from mallow, and I told him the story. I told someone that
his
told
people
him.
The story to tell him. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
About and they were so amazed because it's not appear in any of the books, and I heard it twice, one in Cyprus and one in the Galilee, saying that when there was no bread in the house of Mary, I think Mary Magdalene, Jesus told her to go and to pay with a bunch of mallow, khubeza.
Okay.
It's nothing. It's something that maybe poor people will eat it. And they remind me, New York Times and khubeza later on. Okay. And they, like chickens and goats will eat it. And he said, no, go, and he will tell you. She was waiting that everyone will clear, and then shy, she's asking him, will you give me bread for this? And of course, and he's taking with all the dignity. And then it's became gold in his hand.
Wow, what a story.
So, nisim v'niflaot.
100% miracles, definitely. Wonders and miracles. Now, Rosh Hashanah is obviously almost here. What dishes from your own Iraqi traditions do you specifically make for the holiday? Tell me about one or two that you connect with the holiday.
Till the age of 35, now I'm more than double. I thought that the Seder, like Seder of Pesach, there is Seder of Rosh Hashanah.
Well, aren't there with the simanim, the
simanim.
symbols?
I thought that it's all Jewish the same.
Okay.
And I found that what we have, especially the Iraqi, is a wide story. And the Ashkenazi is very reduced one.
Right.
So one of the things that I like so much even now is Mom is with us, Baruch Hashem. She's over 90 and she's still cooking.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
Thank
and
God.
telling stories. And so maybe it's two things that I will take. It's this sort of summer squash or like green pumpkin, kara in the Mishnah and in Arabic, and the Mom doing it so it's became like a clear. Because you start sort of green white and then it's become clear, and she will cook it also with the calf chicks that Rosh that we are making the blessing. But I want to tell you something piquant about quinces.
Okay.
That are not really in Jerusalem. When I said there is Ashkenazim with the reduce, no. Jerusalem is something meuchad, special.
It's very special, yeah.
And so most of the Ashkenazi families adapted the simanim and all these habits or traditions from the Sfaradim. Because, like in the old city, there was no TV or they will sit together these mothers, and they will cook. Arab and Jewish, Christian, Muslim and Jewish will cook together and tell stories, and so I think we're passing from.
And you grew up in the old city, right?
No.
No? Where did you grow up?
Unfortunately, I grew in the Ma'abara, the refugee camp.
Oh, the refugee camps. Wow.
That was made from aluminum shacks, like 9 feet, 10 feet on 15. Thin aluminum. Electricity wasn't even in our dreams.
Oh my goodness.
But we were pioneers. So the Ashkenazim in the old city, or those that were here a long time, like the Goldberg family, I know that Chemdat told me this story. She's also a chef. That they're not just adapted, they also go over. So in the first night they will do all the simanim, like the Iraqi, for example. In the second night they will use quinces.
Quinces, okay.
Quinces, this tough, big fruit, chavush.
Right, because it's a new shachianu fruit, a new blessing, yeah.
And it seems to be that the Yiddish name sound like bombs, bomberes, or membrizos in Spanish. So they will say, "Sheiplu bombes al oivenu."
The bombs will fall on the heads of our enemies. It's great. It's great. Now, I mean, you and I were speaking before about the connection between food and Jewish history, food and Jewish tradition, and really keeping our lives alive. Talk to me a little bit about that and how you think that food is really so core to the Jewish story.
I think that food is so core and connected to any tradition. Mm-hmm. They're foods.
Yeah.
Always. So, this we need like 5 different programs just to talk about this.
So I will try it in 3 minutes.
I will try. So, reading the Bible, making lentil soup from red lentils.
Right.
The story of Jacob and Esau.
Of course.
You cook it, you write in your menu, the lentil soup of Jacob and Esau, and people go, chef, cheating us, it's not red. It's written Aliteni Mina Adom, it should be red. And I'm saying, they argue, and the question was asked already when the Bible was fresh by Chazal, asking how come that it's written red? It could not be a mistake in the Bible.
Right.
And it's not red. So they're saying that Esau came from a kill. He murdered Nimrod, the hunter, for his robe.
Right.
There was blood in his eyes. And through this screen, everything was red. And he said, red.
Wow, it's wild.
And then there is another connection that makes it really wild with my great-grandma, Imi Khatun, that was sitting in the Bet Midrash of the Ben Ish Chai in Baghdad. Mm-hmm. And the Ben Ish Chai will say, Chazal saying it in a way that you can say, maybe. He's saying, and I will ask people, how do you like your steak? And say, let's say that he say rare. And the Ben Ish Chai is saying, 10 parashot after Toldot is Bo, the story of Yetziat Mitzrayim, and it's written there about the Korban HaPesach, Al tochlu mimeno na. Na is rare, but it's also very please. So Ben Ish Chai is saying, no, he wasn't so polite. It wasn't na
please,
of please. It was, I want to eat it when it's still raw, red.
So like the soup wasn't cooked?
So it wasn't cooked yet. So it was red. And this is the story. So
incredible.
One small lentil, big story, connection of Iraq, Bible, food.
It's everything so interconnected. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Eucalyptus. You've got it on your shirt here. Eucalyptus is the restaurant that you run in Jerusalem. It's been really become from a very small, home kind of establishment to quite large and well-respected. But most dignitaries and others who come to the country like to visit, to eat there, because it's something that is very unique in that it connects, as you just described, the Bible, the herbs of the Bible, with the food. Now, you, from what I understand, it started from a name. The name started because of a tree that you used to sit around when you grew up. Can you tell me that story? Is that correct?
Almost.
Okay, so explain, what is the real story?
If you'll watch me on Netflix in these stories of generation, I'm talking about that took me by mistake to the Holocaust, a chamber or cave in Har Zion.
Okay.
It was something before Yad Vashem.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went out, I think I was so shocked. Most of the things that I've seen there, they are still very deep. That it took me like 40 years to start to say I was there. But the second thing that I did, the next few days after that, I went and I bought a eucalyptus tree. Mm-hmm. It was almost Tu B'Shvat, and I planted eucalyptus tree. It was like, for me, it was something after being there to plant this. And it was, again, stories, because Iraqi father said, Tu B'Shvat, I want to plant a tree. Sure, I bought some trees, fruit trees. I say, no, Abba, I bought in my money eucalyptus tree. What is eucalyptus tree, my son? It's Australian tree. Okay. What's fruit it's giving? There is no fruit, like edible fruit. I say, but it's written, unter dem kol etz pri ma'achal. It should be a fruit tree. But he knew that I'm stubborn, and he was as well. And say, my son, you may plant it over there, because it's written in the old books that in the future, עתידין עצי סרק של ארץ ישראל, שישאו פירות. In the future, the non-fruit trees of Israel, they will carry fruit.
But this is an Australian tree.
Yeah, but...
It'll be planted in Israel.
But in Israel, those that are without fruit will carry fruit.
Amazing.
When we opened the restaurant surrounding the tree, Abba was with us making this, what we call focaccia, he will call it pita. And we didn't pay attention when he was there that the Eucalyptus Restaurant or tree start to give fruit.
Wow, really?
Fruit.
That you
it's
can
not
eat?
only in the Bible, means money.
That's amazing. So beautiful. Now, you've cooked all over the world, but what makes it very special to cook in Jerusalem?
Yes, it's very special because, when we are talking about walking in the path of prophets and kings, and it sounds okay. We are saying it, but food, and you mentioned before the connection, and this is maybe the connection, because when you walk in Jerusalem, Chubeza Amelo goes everywhere. You look at the walls of Jerusalem and the Kotel, the Western Wall, there is keppers going there.
Really? I think I've noticed that.
But this is all almost like nothing. The real thing is, when you're going to a winery or a dairy that's making cheese and you test the wine in the winery, you're buying a couple of bottles, going home, it's not the same.
That's true.
Cheese as well. There is something in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And there is something in Jerusalem that cameramen will say, the light of Jerusalem, that making Yerushalayim shel Zahav, the golden.
Right.
And I will say that there is something in Jerusalem, when you cook the food of Jerusalem, really believe me that making it better, I can make something that for me it's nothing. And people say, wow, really, it's simple. And say, you are saying it's simple. No, it's really simple. But I think that there is something in the environment, there is something, it's the same thing that curing me. When I'm cooking, when I'm away from my restaurant for a time, sometimes like this really bad days that I don't want to go to the restaurant, when there is only 2 tables at night or something like that, and the restaurant is almost collapsing, I will feel bad. And then my partner or my son will say, go to the restaurant, you know that it will pick you up. Pick you up. There was a conference in Jerusalem. A psychologist, and one of them wrote a very famous one. I'm sorry that I don't remember the name. He wrote, this restaurant, the Eucalyptus Restaurant, will pick you up. I will write it as prescription for dicaon, for
depression.
For depression.
Yeah, wow.
So this is Jerusalem. It's not my food.
Wow, that's so beautiful. I live in Jerusalem, and I think I agree. You know, it's something very special when I travel all around for work all the time, and I'm visiting different places, and there's something very special about going home and even driving in and seeing, you know, the hills of Jerusalem, and yeah, I'm home. It's like very, very refreshing.
Yeah,
I very much
smells, colors, and food.
And food.
Food is smells, colors, something that you touch it, you feel it, and so when people are stepping in the path of prophet and kings, I'm saying here, you feel it also in your belly. It's inside also.
Yeah. So speaking of foods, I mean, I have here, I don't know if I can get it up to the camera here. I don't know if they can see it, but I've got your Eucalyptus Cookbook that you made, which is an incredible cookbook. I have it at home. And I wanted to talk about it specifically because, again, we're talking about Rosh Hashanah and recipes and the connection between the Bible and the food and the Holy City. And in this cookbook, you've got so many recipes that really articulate that. Now, I'm not going to choose for you. So I want you to choose for me one recipe that really captures the biblical essence of cooking.
Well,
sorry to make it so hard. Biblical Israeli cuisine, because it's biblical and Israeli. Tell me a recipe.
So it's have 3 heads. Rosh Hashanah, almost biblical, and Israeli,
Yes.
and the book.
Pulling it all together.
If you allow me, I will take 2.
Of course.
One will be lamb in the oven, and if it's not mentioned, you can add quinces to your lamb.
Okay, sounds delicious.
And the Shir Hashirim apple cake.
What is the Shir Hashirim apple cake?
Because in Shir Hashirim, it's most of these hot, warm spices, I mean warm, not hot, not harif.
Like cinnamon, nutmeg, these kind of things?
Cardamom, allspice.
Oh, yeah. Delicious.
Cinnamon that mentioned in Shir Hashirim. And apples mentioned in Shir Hashirim. רפדוני בתפוחים, שמחוני בעשישות, or maybe I'm mixing it. And so it's a apple cake with really a lot of spices, like nutmeg that people will use for meat, or allspice, and they don't know that it goes as well for savory and sweets.
I'm going to have to pull that up and make it this year. That sounds really, really good. Now, you've also, speaking of pulling things together, been very involved in this concept called Chefs for Peace, which brings together Jewish, Muslim, and Christian chefs. I mean, I'm just curious. I mean, in this time, first of all, after October 7th, has that been continuing? Let's start with that. And second of all, do you believe that food maybe could do a better job of creating unity and peace here than all of the politics?
Yes, but everybody will take it for his, women will say, women will make peace and chefs will make peace and...
But yet there's no peace, so I mean, none of us are doing a good enough job.
So I'll tell you. I'm very, after October 7 until now, the activity of Chef for Peace is like a bunch of old women, Shabbat Shalom, Happy Sunday, Ramadan Kareem, but we are not touching really anything, even saying, we are so sorry that what's happened. I don't want to, maybe one day I will talk about this a bit more. But in general, I will always say that Chef for Peace, we are using sharp, big knives to do wonderful things. And I will take it one step more, that I'm proud that I found this. It's not something that I'm quoting. When you are eating, you open your mouth. You must.
No choice.
If you don't want to
Hopefully
talk...
people do it better and more effectively, so it's nice and,
In Hebrew, the roots of violence is alimut.
Okay.
The root of the word, to each letter, in Hebrew there is 3 letters that are what we call root, is Aleph Lamed Mem, Elem. Mm-hmm. The roots of mute is the same, Ilem, Elem.
Oh, wow.
When you have Elem, when you are muted, you'll get alimut, violence. When you open your mouth, and food will bring you to open your mouth and smile, and because you're satisfied also. It will really break walls. That's the way. Unfortunately, we are experiencing very, very hard times. Very hard times. That I was almost saying what I'm doing in Chef for Peace. But after all, the only way for us to live here is in peace. Shalom in Hebrew, in the Bible, means security. It's not shalom, and it's not just peace, it's security. When it's mentioned in the Bible, when we're praying for shalom, it means this secure, to be secure, לחיות בשלום. So, after all, in a way that I'm not a politician, I don't want to be, and it's not easy, especially in these days, to put the finger and to say, oh, this is the right way. But we must have peace here in the area. I think that in some ways we are doing it, in other ways. And so Chef for Peace now, maybe it looks like what's happening all around us. Hopefully we will pick ourselves up, and also what will happen around us. We must have peace. You cannot live anywhere, especially in this area, without peace. But peace should be really something that you can say equal. And I hope and I pray and I believe this is maybe the most important thing. I believe.
Amazing. Well,
I'm a believer. I'm not religious, but I'm a great believer. Maybe I can say now that I'm so old that more than most of the religious people, I'm believer. I'm believer much more than them. They can pray 3 times a day or 5 times a day, but not always believing. And I believe in peace.
It's so beautiful. And on that note, I think we should wrap up the show. Moshe Basson, the chef who runs Eucalyptus and has this amazing cookbook. I really appreciate you sharing the stories and the beauty of the cooking and the food as we enter Rosh Hashanah, Shana Tova Umetuka.
And you can do this food also everywhere. And hurry and do it, because the next book will be how to eat according to the Rambam and to live long like Methuselah.
Well, I think I'm going to wait for that one. That sounds great. Thank you so much.
Toda rabba. Thank you so much.